Hey everyone, it's Kristen Swarchek. It's Tuesday morning. It feels like Monday because the kids were off yesterday, but it's Tuesday morning and I was in the greatest place this morning. I just got done a 3-day yoga training and any of you that do yoga out there, you know how that just puts you in a place that kind of feels like home. It's the place deep within you that you can't avoid when you're on the mat. You just kind of go there. So I'm feeling really good. And I wanted to come to you today and talk about vulnerability and shame resilience. I have recently been asked, I recently have been asked a lot of questions on LinkedIn about vulnerability and how do you show up as a leader with vulnerability? And once you do that, how do you know that you're living in that authentic place? So I thought it would be a great topic to share with you today because it's not easy. Number one, it's really hard to be vulnerable, and then once you are vulnerable, you put yourself in a position where you can experience a tremendous amount of judgment and shame, guilt, whatever it is that your story involves, you can experience that. So, for vulnerability, a key indicator that you are in a vulnerable place is that you feel you're revealing something about your wounded self, something that maybe has been a hardship that you've overcome or a story from your life. And, so I'll share with you. The other day, I revealed a really deeply personal story about growing up with an alcoholic parent. And, this was deeply vulnerable for me. It was something you can have those thoughts of, should I even be saying this? The judgment will creep in because you don't want someone to appear, bad. I mean, this was my mom. So my mom's passed away. And I know that my mom, being the type of person she was, she would want me to help others with this story. And, there's no wrong in being addicted to anything. What it is simply that low self-esteem. I'm seeing Mike. Hey Mike, good to see you. Self-doubting, all of those things that come with vulnerability. You're vulnerable to your addiction. And so you cave, you cave to the fears that are in your head because they become so persistent that you need an outlet to escape them. And so we all are prone to addictions in our life. We are going to be feeling so weak that whatever is in front of us that offers a temporary release of that pain is going to appear really like a great outlet for us. So, vulnerability. Hey, Frederic, it's good to see you on here. It's a place where we decide to go consciously. And we know that we're revealing something that's deeply personal, and you have to be really careful about who you're sharing your stories with. You want to share your stories and deeply personal events in your life with people that are worthy of hearing them. And what I mean by that is not judging people, as far as lining them up and saying you're worthy, you're not. It's knowing that it's going to be received in a manner that will not be judged, that these people will have an open mind and willingness to go within and see what this brings out for themselves. Because sharing our stories is not about judging the other person. It's about thinking about, what is that bringing up for me? And so anytime you're in a situation where you feel that someone is abrasive in some way, it's bringing up events in your life that you are questioning, don't take it out on the other person. This is a fabulous opportunity for you to learn so much about yourself because it's bringing up something that's been a trauma for you in the past, something that you need to overcome. And so when we align on our past and we commit to being vulnerable and doing these acts, it's not going to be an easy ride. You know, you're going to have these opportunities, which I had, you know, just recently with sharing that story. I got a lot of backlash for sharing some personal events in my life. And I had to receive that without judgment, to receive it with knowing that everyone's on their own path and they're going to see whatever I do in my life from their lens, from their perspective. And it's so deeply important that when you feel that other people are judging you, that you take the time to get silent, to go back within and tap into your own internal compass, which will tell you that you in fact did what you needed to do to grow, or whatever it is that needs to be revealed, because only you know that. And that's why as you get further on this path, you may find you stop asking for advice, because when you get advice from other people, you know, there's a lot that happens. It feels great to just vent. So simply, there's that healing part, but you have to be cautious to take the advice with a grain of salt, because people are going to use their own lens to give you that advice. And the only person that can provide advice that is best suited for you is you. And we have to be willing to go within. So that's where journaling, you know, you may find as you get further along, we've talked about this in the past, but when you journal, you're going to reveal that insight through your journaling process. And it's just going to come out on the page. There's not going to be any judgment. You have to look at that without any judgment and just simply be observing what's showing up like a movie. And then you're able to apply that advice, knowing what you need to do as your next best action in your life. So, you know, this whole video is about vulnerability and shame resilience. Resilience and shame resilience is going to develop over time. It's going to develop as you realize that standing in your truth involves having boundaries. Boundaries in which you're willing to move forward without compromising in any way. Because when we compromise on our values, that's not standing in our truth. So whatever it is that comes up as you're vulnerable, you know, you have to be willing to keep going and to not go back to your cave and silence yourself, because this is what we do. You know, it was interesting. I found a note outside my daughter's bedroom this weekend. I have 3 girls, and my oldest daughter is just so sweet. And I guess she got in a fight with her sister. And there was a note that she wrote to her sister about, you know, she was really sorry, and she just, you know, took blame for that and said, I hope you're still going to be my friend. And knowing her sister's not one to, she's very strong spirit. So most likely she could have done a million things. Hopefully she was kind when she got the when she got the letter. But, you know, that was a deeply vulnerable moment for my daughter to be willing to accept the blame. And depending on how her sister responded in that moment, she may decide never again to, you know, write a letter to ask for forgiveness. So these moments, even in our children's lives, and especially in our children's lives, are the moments that may not seem like they're a big deal, but they're huge. Because it could be that one time that your child gets a response that's not supporting them in the journey, that they decide to quit that actions, to stop asking for forgiveness. And that one wall is built up. And what I've learned as an adult is we have so many walls. You know, we build up a wall. We could potentially build up a wall for each event that we go through in our life that causes us some pain. So we have to be really aware about the walls that we're building up in our life. Because if we're building them up based on how one person responds, that's not authentic. That's not what you need. And so after you're in any situation where you feel judged, it's so vitally important to go within, to get silent, go for a run, take, 5 minutes to do a meditation, whatever it is that will allow you to calm the chatter in your head so you can hear what you personally need to hear, and then make your decisions. And you may need to do this several times over the course of a week to really get clear. But make sure that you're making the decision based on yourself and what you know you need, not what anyone else is telling you you need to do. And that's how we develop shame resilience. Because shame resilience is, one skill, I think it's the best skill we could probably develop over time, is to not go to that dark place within ourselves where we just can say the most awful things to ourselves. We put ourselves down and we don't even realize we're doing it. We do it all day long. So when you get to that place during your day where you just feel like crap, it's because you don't have shame resilience. It's because you haven't taken those purposeful pauses throughout your day to get silent and know that the voices in your head are not yours. They're other people's voices that are trying to quiet you. And as we go on, actually, I need to run to a meeting, but tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the spiritual ego, because the spiritual ego is the most clever of them all. It comes in and tells you in such a way that you are on your path. You're completely doing what you need to do, but there's ulterior motives in that voice. And it's really hard to decipher what that voice is trying to tell you, because you seem to be aligned on your path, yet you're not. You're not there, but it is the final threshold until you're ready to embark on your true authentic path and let go of all those voices of the ego. So I will be back here tomorrow. We'll do a whole video around the spiritual ego, but I just wanted to share with you, those of you that are embarking on conversations that are vulnerable, I'm deeply proud of you for doing that. I support you fully. If you have instances where you feel shame from a conversation you shared publicly or even with one other person, message me. I'll be there to help guide you back to the voice you need to hear, because that's going to happen all the time. And you can lose your power very quickly by listening to what other people are telling you. And that's most likely what's been happening your whole life. So it's really important that you stand in your truth, that you trust your intuition to speak out and have those conversations, because that's what's going to allow you to grow, and that's what's going to allow everyone around you to grow. You know, there's deep respect and trust and loyalty and integrity that comes from people hearing another person share their story. When you're able to do that, that's a sign of courage. That's bravery at its best. And you are the true warriors out there that are shining for all other people to grow and to evolve into their best selves. So you're the light workers, you're the people that are truly making a difference, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And just, take the time though before you have those conversations to tap in and know that you have that safe container to share what it is you have to share with the right people, and trust that you're doing what you need to do. All right? Thank you everyone for being on here. I love having you here, and any comments or questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I'll respond as soon as I can, okay? Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.